Are we officially beginning?
I don't know. Okay,
Silent so.
Dan, intro or like
Intro.
Well, our names are already there. They don't need an intro, do they?
we'll introduce ourselves on our own channel because everyone already knows who Adam is. I'm Andy McDermott.
McDermott.
Okay, look, I'll do an actual intro here.
Hello,
welcome all to Irish Lads Talk About Life, the nice life advice podcast. No, actually, we talk about games and all pointless things right here. But today we've got a man and a pint of Guinness that has been deliciously poured right there. That is a stellar technique. So tell me, when did you learn how to pour Guinness, Adam McDermott? And thank you for joining us as well. And sorry for the...
lads. This is going to be the most Irish video on the internet. It's going to be great.
Oh, I'm going to put diddly dee music on every single thing we say.
I might whip out the bar on later on.
I might add Michael Flatley just in like the bottom right corner, as if he's also on the Platchums. But
I think he's actually scheduled to come later. So
free tickets to all our viewers. No, he needs the audience. So, Adam, how is life, man? What's the crack?
Pretty good. I'm pretty good. I recently did. What was it? Today is Monday, so on Saturday I sat down for a 6-hour marathon Q&A session.
Oh God!
I got quite drunk by the end. I suffer for my craft.
6 hours of a Q&A. Can you imagine it was just two questions? He gives a very thorough answer, doesn't he?
I didn't think it would be that long. I don't know what the final video will be, but yeah, definitely drunk by the end because my tolerance was really high after 2 months in Eastern Europe. But then I came back to Ireland.
It would want to be.
Prices, yeah, I was drinking most days. And then when I came back to Ireland, I went to the shop. It's like, what do you mean an 8-pack is 15 euros? I should be able to get 2 nights out on that.
I just imagine like your trip. I opened my own hotel.
Cheers, by the way, lads.
Yeah, cheers. I have a cup of tea because we're hardcore. We're letting the team down in terms of the Irishness, but
he's pretty fucking Irish.
I feel like this was kind of a little while coming, actually, having you on Platchums. I mean, it's a bit of a niche community, the old trophy hunting community, but to have 2 separate groups of Irish people on it, I mean, ultimately, it was only going to lead to one thing, and that is, do you prefer Barry's or Lions? That is
neither. I go with that thing, Punjama or Punjama.
Oh, Punjabi.
Yeah.
Good choice. It's kind of the hipster choice, but I respect that.
Is it? I've just been getting that for years.
Is it? What kind of tea do you drink, Dan?
You know, I'm not super pushed. Like, I don't, as long as it's made well, that's the most important thing. Like, none of the fancy English breakfast stuff or anything like that. It's just,
the Earl Grey.
Yeah, it just has to be normal tea, you know, and then I'm okay. But yeah, Barry's or Lions or whatever's going, really. I don't mind.
Then I got a question for you. Do you put in the milk first?
Oh God,
no.
Jesus, no.
I was up in Leitrim visiting family on...
Well, that explains it. That explains it, Leitrim.
And my aunt was like, oh, Adam, would you like to be sure? And she put in the milk first. I went, but there's only so much room in the cup. The ratio can never be fixed.
No. But have you ever put the milk in first? After everyone grab some tea and do this with us. No, if you put the milk in first and then the water, it just looks wrong. It just looks fundamentally wrong as well. And then you can't correct it no matter how many times you double dip.
Wait. Sorry. This is completely blowing my mind. So you're saying there's actual people who put in milk and then a tea bag and then water?
Oh, no. So they had a pot of tea.
Oh, okay.
Like a big, you know, you get 3 or 4 cups out, and then they put the milk in first and then the tea in afterwards.
Wow.
Just a pot of milk and then they just throw it like a cold tea bag in. Leitrim style.
As someone who drinks like the tea with sugar, I've always thought that question to mean putting in the milk before the sugar, because I would naturally put tea bag, water, sugar, make sure that the sugar after I've taken the tea bag out so that the tea bag doesn't absorb sugar. I don't know, does that happen? But that's what my logic. And then the milk, and you know, it has to get to that nice kind of golden brown color. Can't be too light. and then it's perfect. But yeah, milk in a cup with tea on it just sounds, there's something off about that.
They're wild up there in Leitrim.
Well, we here on the Tea Podcast strongly advise you to not put the milk in first. So, Adam, I want to talk to you about some games and stuff and life and what led you to kind of doing the old YouTube thing. So you recently got the platinum in MGS4, which brought back some horrendous memories for me, because I actually forgot how much went into that platinum. I think I actually kind of blocked it from my mind, if I'm being honest. So is that kind of your proudest plat so far, or your...
Probably that or MGS2.
Yeah, MGS2 was...
great games.
Yeah. You don't have any of those plats, do you, Dan? Just for the record.
Just 3. I just have the easy one.
I know. You could do 2 and 4. Like 2 is more skill-based. 4 is just like a marathon. Like even the chicken emblem alone is just so tedious. But it's a great game, and like I remember I platinumed that as soon as the patch came out, because I thought it would never get trophies, and the patch came out I think like 2013, so like 5 years after its release, which in those days was unheard of, that like they went back to a game that old to give it trophies. So but you did a really good job of kind of capturing like each kind of playthrough, and the fact you had to do an extra playthrough on top of it. I probably would have lost the will to live, man, not gonna lie, if I had to do a 9th.
That's one of the sort of things of, if the video is of 9 playthroughs, how do you make each playthrough feel like its own thing? And then how much, like how many lines do you even bother covering on a playthrough? And I knew that the kind of the big boss extreme playthrough would be a big chunk of the video. So you don't want to give away too much before that, because then it's like repeating yourself. That was a tricky video. It came out quite well. It was almost perfect, but I fucked up the presenting.
In what way?
The presenting was fucked up. Yeah, I see.
What was that? What happened?
So it's too dark. What I had is, because I was in Romania when I was recording it, so I had a different poster than the usual one. Now, if you take LED lights and shine them at a poster, you get an awful lot of glare. So to get rid of it on this one, you can get a clear acrylic matte spray paint and just douse the fucker as much as possible. It gets rid of the glare. But I didn't do that for my other poster. So when I shined the lights on it, it just looked awful. So I had to have just the overhead lights. And then the room itself acoustically was quite bad, because it had low-hanging ceiling. It was quite spacious, so stuff echoed. Basically, the sound wasn't good, and the presenting was too dark. So I had to up the brightness artificially in post-production. So there's all these little artifacts around the edges. So like that was ruined. But this is the beauty. You make a video that's almost perfect is even better. It's like,
just to motivate you. The anger will motivate you. You're like, goddamn artifacts. I'll show you, you bastards.
I think, like, I don't know if you've noticed this with your viewers. It's something that we've noticed, obviously on a smaller scale, but people seem to listen to our videos more than watch them. So oftentimes, Nate specifically will put a lot of work into an edit, and then people are like, oh, this is great to listen to while I grind trophies or something. So all that's completely like,
and also when you say a lot of effort, it's like, I mean, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I'm going to go back and watch the MGS one and just, judge all the artifacts in the video.
Leave a comment. God, so many artifacts. What a noob.
No, I definitely did not notice that when I watched it. But
also the audio was bad. As I do a note of post-production and equalization and try to take out certain frequencies.
Yeah.
Still didn't work out. So I was like, damn
it. No, it's the audio that would bother me more so. I feel like if you nail audio, you can get away with a lot in video. Like it can look like it was filmed on a potato in space, but as long as the audio is crisp, it's grand. Normally it's grand, but we don't really care so much because our quality control is fairly low.
Yeah, no, I really like that video though, and the thing I think you do masterfully is build tension around things, and then
tell a narrative. It flows so well. Yeah,
it's like the chicken playthrough, like you were saying, and then like the tension of would you get it that second time was just so good. I really like that, and that's something that kind of shines through on all your videos. The production quality is super high.
Yeah, because everyone knows, like, you have gotten the plat. for the most
Yeah,
part.
but I've somehow got to trick him into thinking maybe he didn't get it.
Yeah, or maybe he didn't get it, but that would be a fantastic one, man. Where like for one platinum journey, you just go, fuck this, and then it just ends.
I'm out.
Like a 45-minute video, and you're not actually fuck this. I have better things to do, and you just leave. And you see the empty can of Guinness and just slowly zoom in on it.
That I came close with Shovel Knight and Modern Warfare. I'm just going like, I can't be stuck on this anymore.
Yeah, like something's got to break. It's either going to be the platinum popping or you. What did you think of Shovel Knight? I haven't played it myself.
It's not for me. I did it as I don't know, I thought it'd be a fun challenge, but I'm so bad at the game. And then you've got to do a speed run, the whole thing in 90 minutes, and that just I struggled with that for so long.
Are you a fan of speed running, or is it just that game in particular?
I like speed running. Yeah, I think speed running is fun because if you take a regular game, you can bump it down to easy. You can enable all the cheats, all the infinite weapons, go nuts.
Yeah.
As in, what's the Resident Evil games? You got to speed run them in under 2 or 3 hours. I think that's fun because you got to find the direct route, the quickest way to defeat enemies, the quickest way of getting out of an area, how to solve. That to me is fun.
Yeah, no, like I love it because you kind of realize how well designed games are, where like that it's possible to do it that fast. I feel like it makes you appreciate just how well you're like, I wouldn't call it padding, but how well things are fleshed out to kind of distract you away from the core path of how like short some of these can actually be. But to memorize the puzzles, to the navigation as well, where like say something like I don't think Dead Space had a speed run trophy, but I love the hardcore mode in Dead Space 2 where like you only 3 save files. I love those little things where it's like, okay, wait, do I push it like one chapter further to like make that save file just so much sweeter and a bit more of a base to go on for the final couple of chapters? Or like the speed run and like you said, like the path of least resistance, or sometimes just the most efficient. You just have to run through 100 enemies, but that's the fastest way. It challenges you in a really engaging way. So I actually like those trophies personally. Like I think there's far worse trophies out there, but Shovel Knight, you're just shite at it essentially. So
I'm terrible. Terrible.
Great game, but I'm shite at it. No, I definitely. If you played Shovel Knight, Dan, you haven't, no?
Yeah, I have on the Switch. Yeah.
Oh, on the Switch. Oh, a connoisseur. What did you think of it?
Yeah, I got it because I've heard such good things about it for so long. I remember watching The Completionist, and it's one of his favorite games of all time. And he has a pretty good taste in games. I always thought so. I love those style of games anyway. I love 2D platformers. I love Metroidvania style games anyway. So that's a game that's built with, you can kind of tell it's built with like a lot of love, the indie team behind it. But speedruns, like, funny for me, speedruns, like, I prefer watching them than playing them because
you got seriously into, was it Resi speedruns? We were like, yeah, man, just watching a few, they're going for the record again.
When a new game comes out and you can watch the breakdown of how like really high level speedrunners break down a game and dismantle it, and Elden Ring was the same. Like it's just so much fun. It's something that I've a lot of time for, and I love seeing like the showcase of these guys' skills because we can get loads of trophies, whatever, but like the guys who are doing like the world record speed runs, like they have just a different plane of skills,
but it fries my brain because anytime I watch those like world record ones, I wouldn't go out of my way to watch them too often, but when I do, it's like I almost don't comprehend what I'm seeing. Even if it's a game I played before, it's like I'm just going to like glitch through this map here, then I'm going to like cross triangle it, then I'm going to like go to the, and then the level's over and you're like, what just happened? So, but it is a skill in and of itself. So what are you actually playing at the moment, Adam?
Resident Evil 3 and The Outer Worlds.
Oh, Dan just finished The Outer Worlds. I still haven't played it. I don't really care about spoilers, personally.
I played The Outer Wilds.
Oh no! I do. I made that stupid mistake that everyone makes. God damn it.
I literally made that mistake today.
Oh my God.
I was talking to our friends, our kind of mutual friends, the Missing Collectible guys, and they have
Pete and Will,
and they have an exceptionally good taste in games. Serious shout out to them. And they got me onto Return of the Obra Dinn, which I played like 2 weeks ago, and this week I finally started after them telling me to play it for so long. The Outer Wilds, and not to be mistaken with the Outer Worlds.
Wilds.
And it immediately, I won't talk ad nauseum about it, but it immediately jumped into my top 10 games of all time. It's that good. It's the kind of game that you just have to go in with no former knowledge at all about the game. You just have to go in completely blind. And it's if you look up a guide, I'm sure it would kind of ruin a lot of the magic of the game. So I just started the DLC for it today. But yeah, sorry, not the Outer Worlds. But I do want to play the Outer Worlds.
Not the Outer Worlds, you goddamn idiot. Yeah, no, I want to play both. The Worlds and the Wilds version of either. I think that's how you'd say that. But how was the Outer Worlds? Adam, Worlds.
I'm only about 10 hours in. It's grand. It's nice. You're helping people out. You make some decisions. I think I'm playing on easy because I don't care for the combat. It's an RPG first. It's a shooter second. So I just bump it. I think I'm playing easy.
Yeah.
But it's nice. It's bright and colorful, interesting planets you're visiting. It's cool.
Okay.
Looks very like New Vegas. I know it was a lot of the same devs who made New Vegas and so who made New Vegas. So it's a game that I've always kind of wanted to go into and play, but I still haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah,
I'd say it's kind of a lean back game where you just mostly listen to people talk and making dialogue choices and running around the place. Doesn't require your full attention. So at the very end of the day, when you're a bit tired, it's the perfect game to put on.
I like the sound of that because I am quite tired these days. And what was the other game? Resi 3. What do you think so far? Like, I personally really liked it. Like it's just more of Resi 2 style gameplay.
Yeah, I'm liking it more than Resi 2. I've done one playthrough and now I'm doing it for the show Platinum Journey. So I've done one playthrough, I've got 3 more to go. So now I'm playing on the hard difficulty. And what's great is I don't need a guide. I did a guide for the collectibles for the first playthrough, and now I'm just out on my own and enjoying playing the game on hard and trying to figure stuff out. And I'm enjoying it more than Resi 2.
Okay. And did you buy the cheeky pass, the DLC, to unlock everything? Or you're doing it the 4 playthroughs?
I don't think so.
If you have a rocket launcher in your inventory, you did. I think that's the giveaway sign. How did that get there? I actually bought it to spare myself the 3rd playthrough. Even though I loved it, but I was just like, it was on sale. I think it was like $2.50 or something, and I never do it. And I'm just like, I might just bite that bait. There's just this once, just to make it nice and easy for myself. So I've no shame. I'm an open book. I'll say I took a slight shortcut with the platinum, but
that's fine. Every guide says, "Oh yeah, farm points and buy the infinite rocket launcher." I'm like, I don't want reload this save and farm kills with these weapons and get these points and do it for hours. I'm not doing any of that.
Yeah, I'm like,
rocket just
launcher,
give
me, and then then you can have endless fun. And what else is on your backlog that you're going to work on after that, or you kind of you don't have too much to get through?
I don't think I have a backlog.
My God!
So if I don't like a game, I just stop playing it.
That's the best way. I'm kind of leaning towards that myself at the moment. You know, like Outer Worlds, Prey, Alien Isolation, and The Last Guardian have been like kind of the main games that I've been meaning to get to for like 4 years in some cases.
And you actually own these?
I actually own them. So that would be the extent of like my backlog and the games that Dan keeps leaving in my letterbox. He's great for it though. Like he gave me Resi 3. You gave me Demon Souls on PS5. I picked up Catherine Full Body, which I don't know. That's kind of like going to be way down the line. And what else? You've lent me a lot of games, but for me, that's like a huge backlog because normally growing up, I would only get like maybe 2-3 games a year, and then I just play those games to death, like to get the 100%. That's why I think I kind of naturally fell into like the trophy hunting. It was just an extension of the way I always kind of play games. wouldn't get a few, and it's only like when in my 30s, I'm like, wait, come on, you can buy more games. It's all right. The trauma has lessened. So, but I'm like, yeah, no, like I need to get through these. Like, I don't really like having a backlog or some kind of weird pressure. And like, if you spend money on it, you should probably play it. So I feel like I've kind of taken a step back from the trophies a little bit in order just to kind of go, okay, look, I want to play The Last Guardian. It's beyond ridiculous at this point that I haven't played it because I love Shadow of the Colossus. Just play it. I want to play Alien Isolation. I love horror, survival horror especially. Just play it. Just at least do a playthrough of these games. And if you want to go back for the trophies later, cool. If you don't, cool. But at least I played the game. That's kind of the stage I'm at.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of being. And you can consider it done once you just get through the story.
Exactly. So it might make the Platinum Club a bit difficult. God damn it. We have to close the shutters already on that, Dan. But what are you going to play after the Outer Wilds? The Outer Wilds, Dan?
I started the DLC for it straight away because that's kind of like another effectively like another campaign on top of it. So that's cool. So I'm enjoying that so far. I've only been maybe an hour into it or so far. After that, I have like, I suppose, PlayStation Extra plus Extra Premium that
Extra,
I have
Super
now.
Plus Juicy Premium.
Yeah, there's an abundance of choice. I too don't have like a huge amount of physical games that I haven't yet played or finished. So this is kind of compounded the amount of games I have at my disposal because there's a lot of really cool games on there. I wasn't even planning to join up to the Plus or Premium or Extra or Premium because I didn't think that it was going to be much more than PlayStation Now. But actually, there's a lot of really good games on there. So I think I have The Messenger installed, and I have something else.
For a second, I thought like The Messenger, like it's Facebook Messenger. It's like, does Sony release like a messaging app? What? So, but you mean an actual game? Sorry.
Yeah. It's kind of like a Ninja Gaiden-esque kind of retro game. It looks very good, but there's so much choice on there. I'm like not even worried about what I'm going to play next because I have, I can just kind of
stumble on something,
peruse through it and find something. So yeah, I'm definitely like I'm kind of teetering on the edge of burnout this year, just from the amount of games I've played. So I don't really have.
But you went supernova, man, this year. Like, not gonna lie, like with the challenge, and just like the post challenge cleanup, as it'll be known in the history books. Like,
see, I have nuts. I have a set goal for myself. I want
right.
I wanted to get 100 platinums in the year, like 100 really good platinums. So I'm on target, but it's like keeping that up.
The disdain answer, fucking hell.
Yeah, I know. It's like, and it's so funny. If I reach it, it'll be like, oh, okay. I'll tell my wife I got 100 platinums in the year. She'll be like, what the so yeah, so
we need to pay the
that's
bills.
my life. That's my life.
I'll be lucky if I get 100 trophies in the year at this point, like the rate I'm going. So how many are you going for? 200 this year, is it, Adam? Is that the
No, I think maybe 8 10.
I think I have like 8 or 9 this year, I think. That was with the challenge. Like, God, I let the team down on that one. In fairness, and I got Pyre and Undertale. Finally played Undertale. Yeah, it was a game. That's about it. Imagine that review on the box. It is actually a game.
That's definitely a game that's made worse by the trophies, though. It's does not shine if you go for the trophies, I think. So.
But I wasn't like consciously like going for it. I was trying my best to get like go in with an open mind and go, okay, like it's well reviewed, but it was something to play on the Vita as well. It was kind of like if I've 20 minutes here or there traveling or whatever, just didn't connect with it. But anyway, enough of that. That's more time than it deserves.
As someone who travels, do you play Vita at all?
Me?
Yeah.
Nope, I don't have a
No.
Vita. I never even had a PSP. The
It would
last
be
handheld I had was a Game Boy Color.
a good choice also, but
It's a solid
it would
choice.
be like I know Nate's kind of only in the last year, so it kind of went back to Vita, but it's kind of a good time to get a Vita because you just have that backlog of games, and it is handy, for someone like you who travels. It might be a good pickup.
I find it really difficult to play. Like I can't do anything on a bus other than look out the window. I can't read on a bus.
Yeah.
I can listen to like podcasts. I can't even
It's
listen
like,
to
are you
music on a
scared of
bus.
buses? Not you going shit.
Yeah. And then a plane, I was like, "Damn, I can't do anything on a plane. I can't sleep. I can, if it's a long flight, you can watch the movie on the screen. But in general, it's like, no, just
I
try
could
and get
never
through
sleep
it.
on a plane either. I was always jealous of the people, that like they were doing the safety thing just before takeoff and they're already just like,
Yeah.
I hate them so much. Like I hate them.
I've tried to deliberately stay awake. When I was coming back from Bulgaria, I stayed awake all the previous night. I was then in the airport for about 6 hours early because I had to check out. And then the flight was at 11 p.m. It's like, I've been awake 40 hours. Surely I can fall asleep for these 4. No.
Jesus.
Awake all the way back to Dublin. And then my bus in Dublin isn't until 6 a.m. So awake
sweet Jesus.
so like 3 almost days of being awake. Still couldn't fall asleep on the plane.
Then again, like maybe it's for the best because I'm one of them. I remember I was on like a train in Switzerland and like I gave myself a massive bruise on my forehead because I was like falling asleep. And when you like hit the window, when you kind of jump, you get like a sleep twitch. And I remember I was like, oh God, I think I was awake for 2 days for traveling as well. And I think I probably had like some kind of like my phone or whatever. I just jump and boop, and I'm awake. And then it's like everyone looking. I'm like, hello everyone, like that dumbass foreigner. Hello everyone, how's it going? And then you can almost see like the blood, And I'm like, oh, lovely view. Just gonna play that off. But have you got PlayStation Super Juicy Plus Premium?
Nope, I haven't had PlayStation Plus in about 4 years. I kind of started. I don't do multiplayer, so that was no good to me. And then the free games every month, I kind of looked at the past year and went, yeah, I played 2 of them. And if I just bought them secondhand, it would have been half the price of a year of PlayStation.
A yearly
Plus,
subscription,
so.
yeah. No, like I let it expire. I do dabble in online, maybe or predominantly for my dirty FIFA. But I think the last FIFA I played was 4 years ago before I got FIFA 22 with Plus, and before that it was like a biannual thing. Like I wasn't getting it every year. But that's kind of my junk food, as you were saying. You come back after like work or whatever, and you just like it's just so handy. You stick it on, 15 minutes, it's over. Make it sound really bad. It's like, God, do you even enjoy it? It's like, God, it's over. I do actively enjoy it. So no plans to get PlayStation Plus. So like, what would kind of bring you on side with it?
Trophy support for Metal Gear Solid 1.
Yeah, we're beautifully in sync with that because I said to you, Dan, it's like, if you give me Silent Hill 1 and Metal Gear Solid with trophies, I'll get it. I'll go right downstairs and get the Juicy Extra Plus Premium.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just the thought now. Like I do think they missed a trick. This is a bit maybe like, okay, like it's such a small thing to complain about. But I really wish that for the PS1 games, they had their own little card, PS1. And then for PS2, PS2, on the trophy list, and it says which platform. I thought that would have tied the whole thing together. Instead, you get this kind of weird, say like Ape Escape, the PS4 stack and a PS5. I'm like, could you not just make one trophy list and then have just someone? I'm sure someone at Sony has the skill just to say PS1, just because there's like 7 PS1 games on the service at the moment. Just for the sake of I don't know, just optics. I thought that would have looked nice. So Metal Gear with trophies and someone to actually just put PS1, and then I'll give you €500.
Silent Hill 1 would be good. I haven't played that before. That's one of those classic games. Really should try and play at some point.
Oh, it's a great game. Like, have you played any of the Silent Hill games?
I played a little bit of 3, but never
3
finished
is
it.
great. 3 is actually my favorite. I know 2 always gets heralded and kind of, justifiably so, but there is something about 3, it has such a distinctive atmosphere and the soundtrack is excellent. And I loved 4 at the time because it had that kind of first person horror thing down to a T, like years before PT or, Resident Evil or, anything like that, or Outlast, those kind of walking sims, because the whole apartment you're in first person kind of looking for like clues and stuff. I thought that was amazing, especially given the game's age. But you need to play 2 and 4 anyway. Like 1 is aged a lot. This is why you need a Vita, Adam. You can get it on the Vita, knock out some classics, Are there any other gaming blind spots?
Silent Hill would be probably the main one. I did by the way, is a thing at the top saying for you remaining meeting time 4 minutes?
Yes, I thought it was a bluff the first time. You see, we're cheap here at the Platchums. We have a yearly budget of €10, which we use for Spotify for 1 month, where we sing and dance and have a great time. So if it cuts out, it cuts out. Which it will, because it was the last video we were doing with the Missing Collectible lads. Remember, I was looking at it and I'm like, nah, they empty threat, and then it just cut out in the middle of the video. So I had to do a fake ad about Andy McDermott's album.
You don't have to keep asking my permission, by the way.
I thought I think the second time I'm like, look, okay, because it's a weird like 90s inspired, like, now that's what I call music kind of thing. But from now on, if I do it again, I'll just go, I'll assume he's all right with it.
You've my full blessing. That is your character. You can do whatever you please.
I think it was me. I kind of forced him to ask you.
Yeah. Because I was like saying to Dan, it's like, is this okay to do? Because I kind of filmed this thing in like an hour because I was bored, and you're just like, oh no, I like it, but maybe you should ask permission. I'm like, I didn't even think.
Oh, no, you're good. I thought it was fantastic. I was worthy of being parodied. It's great.
Yeah, no. I was looking for like a background, so I'm like, strip club will do. Strip club will do. No, we'll see. I might complete the trilogy. My Name is Mayo, and just have like the third entry, just like. Just in the ground, just gone, with the controller just coming out with the hand. And here lay Andy McDermott. He barely knew you.
He died how he lived, platinuming shitty games.
It was only going to end one way for him. But so like, I'm actually kind of curious about where, like, with your channel, it's doing so well and kind of, justifiably so. Like, where do you kind of see it? Like, is there anything that you've wanted to do that you haven't been able to, or is there any like, well, what's kind of the general plan, or do you even have one?
So I'm hoping to do 3 other series. So one is a series called Different Worlds. Just like these little 5-minute videos of places I'm going to be living in the next year or so.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I came back in 2020, I was like, damn, I wish I'd just taken clips on the smartphone of Vietnam or something, like just something so I could put
where you were. Yeah.
It's like, why not be able to look back on it just for something for me and the people I met while I was there. So when I was in Bulgaria, I recorded just stuff on my smartphone. So I initially tried it with a real camera when I was in Spain. And the thing is, if you're looking at something, this great scene, I think of a typical Spanish city, cobblestone street, little stalls. This thing's going to cut out. Do you want to close this and open up again?
We're such cheap bastards.
I'm not paying for Zoom.
Neither am I, man. Neither am I. It's like you've had McDermott come on the show. Fuck it, I'm not paying for Zoom for that prick. Take 2, Adam.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so I already made.
You're in Vietnam. You've got footage.
Yeah.
Let me.
No, I was in Spain, and when I had an actual proper DSLR camera, and you're got this great thing in front of you, you're looking at, and you're like, wow, I'd love to be able to capture this. But the moment you whip out a big camera, everyone changes. They're like, Jesus, what's going on there? So the great thing you were looking at, you just ruined. However, you take out a smartphone. This is what I learned in Thailand. I went, oh, everyone's taking pictures. Nobody cares. So then I just started documenting stuff on my smartphone. I was like, oh, this is way better. So that's what I did in Bulgaria this past month. However, I feel it's probably not going to be it's because it's not a true representation of Bulgaria, because I was in Sunny Beach, a resort. And yeah, it was a great time and fun, but it's not indicative of Bulgaria as a whole.
Sounds more like Florida, just based off the name.
Yeah. And when I was leaving Sunny Beach and I was on the bus with a Bulgarian, who's probably in his 50s, and he was telling me about everybody's leaving the country. It's like, oh, my daughter, she's gone, whole family are leaving, everyone's leaving the country. And I didn't know about this. So I'm killing time at the airport. I'm on my phone, I'm looking up that Bulgaria has the fastest decreasing population in the world, even more than Syria.
Jeez.
Which is going through a war. Is it Syria? Oh God, I think it's Syria.
Yeah.
But yeah, as in borderline starvation and all that sort of stuff. And Bulgaria is declining faster. Well, there's no there's people going like, this country's fucked, we're out. I was like, damn. So yeah, I think this, I don't want to see how I can balance that. But yeah, it's like different worlds, maybe a 5 to 7 minute video, maybe 3 or 4 of those in a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would like to do, if I have my own place, I would like to do Drunken Gaming Championship, where 2 competitors go head to head, and what gives out first their gaming skills.
I feel like I do well
or their sobriety.
I feel like I do well in that. Tag me in, man.
Yeah.
let me at those games.
Yeah, that would be definitely a bigger production, because you need 2 cameras. You also need a person, and you want to kind of cover their travel expenses if they were to come to you in person, because that's the way it had to be done. So you'd have to put them up in a hotel that's semi-decent and cover their flights or their train or petrol or stuff like that. So that's maybe some play, hopefully down the line the next few years. But that
if you need a competitor, I mean,
yeah,
or like a really shit co-host. I'm Adam McDermott. I'm Andy McDermott. Welcome to Drunken War.
Am I being broken up with?
Yeah. Dan, I need that ring back. Thank you. That ring with the platinum trophy on it.
Oh, and then I would like to I'd be kind of the person you'd always be competing against. And then if you beat me, I'll give you a gold medal that on the back says a winner is you. And if you lose against me, I'll give you a silver medal, and on the back says a loser is you. And that'll be your little trinket to go back home with.
Little trinket, like, get out of my house.
And have you any idea of what kind of games you would play? Would it be?
Yeah. So the first, it would be 3 rounds, much like kind of a UFC, a mixed martial arts contest. First round would be golfing.
Hoping gaming sense, not an actual like octagon is just built in your
I
backyard.
try and have the presentation as close to, we're very serious about this important matchup, but it's just all a farce. I would also like to do training montages of the competitors, as in you're following along the athlete as they're down the local pub, sinking pints day in and day out, trying to build up their tolerance, whereas the other competitors at home just mashing the controller and trying to get up their reflexes. And you kind of go into the kitchen and a person is doing bicep curls with vodka bottles. So swig, swig. So the first round would be golfing, the second round would be a racing game, and the third round, obviously, a fighting game.
Yep, cool. That's good.
That's a good mix.
Would these be retro games, do you think, or would you have a mix? Maybe
let's say Tiger Woods or whatever the new one is, Rory McIlroy, and then
you should throw in something racing, like Winter Olympics 2008. Just like curveball this shit. Or like for the training montage, have 10 cans of Dutch Gold and someone bowling with them. Just you could have so much. Like the pogo stick championships, where you need to keep your pint from spilling on a pogo stick. You could have it mad, and like a whole array of fake trainers. Like characters. You could do a lot. You could build a universe out of that, man. You could build a universe. But anyway,
that's
sorry.
A bit of a bigger production. I'd need additional camera equipment, and then also a place. So then the question is, I'm not sure if I'll be ever able to own property in Ireland because of how expensive it is. And I'm
good luck.
Not married, because I think the banks just don't give out money to single people. Like, I don't see a ring on the finger. No home for you.
I have no sugar daddy to pay for this. Like a shed is, a shed would be considered a semi-detached at this point. It'd be 500,000. But enough of the housing crisis in Ireland. Back to your drunk.
Yeah, but then hopefully around Europe, you get a place on the coastline of Spain, and that would be quite alluring to people. Like, oh no, come to Spain along the coasts. We'll drink sangrias, we'll eat tapas, and we'll get drunk and play video games.
I was about to say, it's like if you're in Spain, it's like, fuck, well, man, again, I'm free. I'm free in general in a nondescript amount of time. I'm free. I'll go to Spain. I'll eat that tapas. In fairness, oh no, that sounds great. So you kind of want to take it more in that direction while also keeping the platinum journeys, because that's like that's an amazing contrast of content.
Yeah, and then you have like the little different worlds thing in between, and also on the back end of, if I've got the person over doing the Drunken Game of Championships, I used to do a live streaming thing, and I called it Adam's Bar. And I made up fake characters. And I was like, oh, PJ's on the pints. Let him know what you want. And Roisin's doing the music. The Owl Lad's down the back. And it's just me in my room. But I would like to kind of bring it back as a video podcast, an in-person video podcast. This is grand, the Zoom stuff, but I think it's way better in person. And then have it like just two people talking shite, drinking. And it's like, oh, no, you're welcome to join us. I'd even put a kind of, like, there'd be a table, two people here. And then I put a third stool in front, and that's the viewer's seat.
That's kind of funny because like Dan will, back me up here. When we were thinking about like asking you to be on, I was like saying, do you think I should ask him just to go to a pub and just set up like in a pub and just have an in-person? Like, he's the only person like that's in the kind of community that would be relatively feasible, and a lot of them are in England or America or wherever else. Yeah. So that was actually an idea that I had. It's like, let's just like ask the lads, because I know a couple of the owners of like pubs in town. I'm just like, can we just like get a corner, light the fire, set up a couple of mics, and just
if they had any sort of snug area, you could just jump in there.
Yeah, like that was the original idea. But as you can see, go on.
I said, if you go to a quiet pub early enough in the day, I'd say they'd be happy to have you.
Oh yeah, and just keep them coming. Just keep a roll in order, a roll every 15 minutes. No, but as you can see, that plan didn't work out. Instead of having an endless, beautiful open tab, we have a Zoom meeting with a 40-minute time limit.
We look to the future.
Whereabouts in Ireland? You're Mayo, right?
Mayo, yeah.
There's not many. I don't have a car. There's not many bus routes from Limerick to Mayo. I think
there's a few. There's a few. Like,
is there?
There's a few. Yeah.
A lot of people go to UL.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Okay,
yeah,
so
that's one way. But
then there's always the Castle Bar
or Galway. Galway is kind of a 50-50.
Galway is fantastic.
I love Galway. I love how we've talked about tea games and now like beautiful places in Ireland. Just go to Galway. If anyone comes to Ireland to visit, just go to Galway. Just kind of get out of Dublin.
Yeah, you're right, Dan. To get the bus to Galway, and then Galway goes to Mayo.
Yeah, and no, the bus routes are absolutely rubbish. So you're completely right. They are like it's all like you have to kind of know if there's like a private service going as well. It's all very poorly infrastructured.
I suppose the timetable as well is more of a suggestion than like a fact that it will definitely show up at this time. Like the amount of times I'm like, oh, it says there is a bus, it's like 7:30. I'm standing there and it's like it's not showing up. And then if you ask someone going on like, what time's this bus? Like, come on, man, like we both know that bus isn't coming. And then it's like, okay, guess I'm walking.
I was only
70 kilometers.
I was only laughing at the bus service the other day because we used to have a bus stop in town, and this is like going back to the 90s. But I honestly remember the bus driver stopping outside the pub to get a pint, and like everyone would just be left on the bus, and then he'd just come back, clearly just having had a pint, and then drive everyone, on. They still stop at the pub, but they don't go in and drink anymore. But yeah, the bus service is a bit of a wild west out here. The west.
Well, look, we'll organise something at some point.
I'll be in Ireland until at the earliest, I believe, will be in February of next year. I might be here until March or April.
All right. Well, if you can't find a bus, that's plenty of time to walk it. So I'd say after this, just kind of get a nice comfy pair of shoes, arm yourself with that dressing gown, because the weather is also a bit of a wild west these days. And sure, I'll meet you halfway. I'll meet you, at the tree in the bog. You know the one.
So, something I was thinking about when I was just, I already kind of know that you've got a huge variety of content on the channel, like especially, you used to do things like that were a little bit different, and then you kind of put more focus on the platinum journey. Would that be fair to say?
I just tried a bunch of stuff that I thought would be fun or interesting. I even did kind of interviews with folks, and then I realized I didn't like doing that.
Can you imagine? It's like, so how are you? God, I hate this.
I think the last one I did was I was speaking to Lewis, Platinum Bro, about grubby platinums. And then I was out, the topic was done in 18 minutes. And I was just like, no. So
what's your favorite color? What's your favorite color? Do you microwave your food, or I don't know?
That's why the idea of just doing a video podcast, a podcast about nonsense and everything about everything and nothing and everything in between.
It's a catchy title.
Yeah. And this is, I suppose, interestingly, this is pretty much, the first time we talked, and we've pretty much had the camera rolling since we started. So this is effectively our very first, meeting, ice breaking. It's a good way to break the ice. I
can imagine everyone's like, they should have had a fucking dry run. The bastard. They call this content. Well, like
something I was sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was literally just going to say, like, the contrast between the production values of our channels, and then I'm done. That was essentially the thought I had.
So lads, like, I'm here with fucking holes in the wall and some shitty overhead light. I'm no better than me.
I have the lovely firewatch thing
he's in a skip. He's in a skip, like the front of that.
I'm actually literally over my washing machine. But something I thought was very interesting. I don't know, would you agree? But a lot of your games seem to kind of focus more on like the retro games, or kind of games of yesteryear. Would you agree, like, that, maybe that's more of a focus, or that's where your kind of interests are? Like Metal Gear, you've got GTA, you've got kind of some of the just, kind of more classic games, I suppose. A lot of the platinum journeys are about kind of,
I did Miles Morales.
Yeah.
I think
classic.
There's just way more stuff that's come out in the last 20 years than have come out in the last 2.
Yeah.
So as I think of what's come out recently, Horizon Forbidden West, I'll do that probably next year.
I'm probably going to give that a miss. I don't know.
But then what else? Elden Ring, of course. But we're talking 2 games. And then
when you break it down like
Ratchet
that,
and Clank Rift Apart, and what's the other one? Miles Morales. So as in games I'd be interested in playing. There's maybe only 2 to 3 new ones a year. Whereas we've got 20 years of games that have already been out. So that's why.
And there is something cool about going back to like those childhood favorites. Like when they first unveiled those PS2 classics on the PS4, I bought, I think it was Manhunt, the GTA games, and Bully, like instantly, instantly, just for the novelty of having it on your profile, because I always treat it as in like my little gaming diary, like I like just seeing like my favorite games on the list, and like Vice City, man, that's one of my favorite games ever. MGS3 is my favorite game of all time by like, I'm not really one for like numerically going, oh, this is definitely number 4, this number 3, whatever. The only thing I know for certain is that MGS3 is just on a tier by itself as number 1, and the rest are interchangeable or whatever. So it's like a HD collection. Oh my God, I'll play the shit out of that. And, if the PS1 games, say on like the PlayStation Plus, Super Plus service, I mean, if they start like dishing out stuff like, the original Spider-Man game on the PS1, even Silent Hill, MGS, I'll get that just to have that game on my profile. I mean, I'm a sucker. Just Sony, I'll give you money, like, just. I forget what even the point was. I think I was just rambling, just going like, just put some of those games on it, and I think there's always going to be interest in the older games as well. Like I feel like either people that haven't played them and just kind of overheard that, okay, like this is the best game of all time or something like that. So I think it reaches like a wide audience, kind of dipping the toe in the nostalgia pool as well. But
Yeah,
I think it keeps a good mix.
I think the quickest I ever got a video out was The Last of Us Part 2. I think that episode was out maybe 2 months after the game was released. Because even I don't get games early. I don't want to get games early. Because then I'd be beholden to Sony and feel some sort of obligation to not shit on some of their games. But that episode did well. But I did the Bloodborne episode 5 years after the game was released. That did well. I did MGS4 13 years. I did Vice City. That did well. Like, I'm in this nice position where I don't have to do the newest games. It doesn't seem to matter.
Yeah, like I think you either need to get it out in the first 2 weeks or you need to wait 2 years until it's almost like a reflective, retrospective look back on the game, or that the game is really embedded into, like, you know, the public's consciousness, or into, you know, people have made their kind of concrete opinions on it because enough time has passed for the hyperbole, the hype, everything has died down, and you can kind of look at it more objectively. And I know that with like newer games, I would rarely get a game release day. Like Elden Ring was the first game I pre-ordered since The Last of Us in 2013. That's a huge time discrepancy between pre-orders. So I think 2013 I got like BioShock Infinite, Last of Us, and GTA 4 or 5, sorry. So that was like a year of pre-orders for me. I went mad. Then nothing for near 10 years. But I think that I'm never gonna get like videos out. Like I have another channel where I do like retrospectives and stuff, kind of really long kind of videos, like Tony Hawk's and Manhunt and stuff like that. And, you know, I dabble with the idea of trying to get a Death Stranding video out. Like that was the earliest I got one out. I think it was maybe 3-4 months after its release, but I felt like my own thoughts hadn't really gestated yet. So I couldn't really give like the best overall viewpoint, because I think it was okay, but when I watch back, I'm like, how did I not mention that or this? Or I actually think differently to how my initial perspective of the game was. So I actually think it's like either get it out quick, you hit that wave of like, oh, it's being spoken about, and or you just come back 5 years later with, you know, a fresh take on it. So it's probably the way to do it. And it, like, you can release a video on Bloodborne in 40 years and it'll still do well when we all have like robot eyes.
I think also I remember, the completionist. So he got, I think, was it Breath of the Wild he got early or something from Nintendo, or what, he got some game early. So him and his team, by the way, it's an actual team. If you look in the video description, it's a fucking team that makes the videos with him. He definitely plays and finishes the games, but half the time he doesn't write the script. He does the voiceover, of course. He doesn't do the editing. Hasn't done that in a while. Because it's too much for one person doing that weekly video.
Oh yeah.
But he was talking about, oh yeah, we were like putting in crazy hours and trying to get the Zelda video out as soon as possible to release it, and going, you're killing yourself. As in, slow down. Your video would probably be better if you take your time and put it out within the first month as opposed to within the first week. And
yeah, the first week is crazy.
Yeah, it just doesn't sound like a healthy way to live in terms of long term, because you just get burned out.
Picturing him watching this video going, my God, he's right. You just see the completionist closes his channel. I was listening to this Platchums video and man, that guy Adam nailed it. I've been wasting my life. And then his team trying to keep him on side. It's like, no, honestly, it's fine. No. But no, you're right. Like I don't know, that it's like an endless grind, because it's like you need to find another game every single week.
Yeah.
You know, like that wouldn't really be for me.
Yeah, I think that's what I was kind of trying to say, is that, you know, when I look through your platinum journey list, it's nearly like a best of games of the last 2 decades, you know. So you're not releasing them beholden to Sony, like you said, or, you know, to try to rush them out the gate or something. But it's nice to look back on them, because when I look through all your videos, I'm like, wow, like they're some of my favorite games of all time, you know, of the PlayStation 2 generation up, pretty much, which is really cool to see. It's such a nice collection of games.
And of course, if you want to spend all those hours not only playing through the game, platinuming it, but then going back through all the footage, and
you want to make sure it's good.
Yeah, cut out what's bad. Most of it's just me in silence playing the game.
Oh yeah. Like anytime we do like a let's plat, it was like members like, oh yeah, shit, I need to talk because I like gaming. It's kind of like my relaxation thing. Like I'm always kind of wondering, like how is that for you? Like for me, like me and Dan were talking about that as well recently, where it's like, oh, maybe we record a whole playthrough, but then Dan was like, yeah, but I kind of just want to play the game. Like, do you struggle with that element a little bit as to kind of change the way you play games, or does it just make you more conscious of, okay, if I'm going to make or play a game, I'm going to potentially have to make a video out of it? Do you feel that kind of pressure that if you sit down to play a game that you're like, okay, I need to get the camera, I need to get the mic, I need to get the footage, just in case I want to make a platinum journey out of it? Or do you kind of designate a game, that's the game I'm doing the platinum journey, anything else, I'm just playing?
Yep, I've got stuff scheduled for probably the next 2.5 years.
Oh, okay.
So it's in one episode film. I'm finished recording that one. Okay, well then whatever's next game, I'll do that. But yeah, I play in the Outer Worlds for fun. I play games for fun too, because you don't want to ever lose that. It being a hobby. If every time turn on the console, like I got to make something out of this. Like no, just remember why you like games in the first place.
I think that's probably like the most sustainable way of doing it, where it's not the entire experience. It's like a contributing factor that occasionally you dip your toe into and you get a lot from it. Because like we get a lot from this. Like we enjoy doing the Let's Plats. Like I'm sure we will play something together at some point, like a Way Out, for example, that we've been threatening to play together for the best part of the channel's existence. But yeah, I think that side of it, where like every single game, like I don't really feel the pressure, as Dan said, as I just want to play it.
Yeah. For me, like I have this weird balance thing where it's like if I focus on making a video, then I just like I can't really play games. And then it's the opposite, the other way around as well. If I'm playing games, I don't have any motivation to record a video. So I feel like one of them siphons the energy from me, from the other. So if I was like, I don't know, do you ever resent any of these games that you play when you feel like you kind of have to play them for the platinum journey? Does that ever impact your kind of enjoyment of the game, I suppose?
I normally try and do enough research so I'm picking games that I know I like or I've already played before. However, in the case of like a Shovel Knight or a Modern Warfare, it just becomes way more difficult than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Even Modern Warfare 2, which I recorded, that's the episode I'm doing now. I've already got the voiceover. I'm currently going to the main edit of it.
Mm-hmm.
But that one, I was told, oh, Modern Warfare 2 is so much easier than the first one. Oh, the veteran mode is a piece of piss. There's the obstacle course. It's fine. 15-hour plat. Might even take you 10. Like, you can just double that.
You can double that and shove it up your hole.
It did not go well. And then while I was doing it, I got COVID like you got COVID, Nathan.
I have COVID right now. I don't think I've said it on camera yet. I'm recovering. Thanks for asking.
So that knocked me through. Because I was doing all the recordings here and I was trying to get them done before I go to Romania. Because I don't like the set changing where I'm sitting. But then in the final months, family death, that was me out of action for about 5 days. Then got COVID, that was me out of action for a whole week. In fact, in the video, my voice was very bad. You can hear it in the video, like the throat is still sore. And it's like, shit, that's just extra pressure. And I'm trying to beat this game as quick as possible. And all of it just spiraled, like this mistake after mistake, and all spirals. And it ended up being a bit of a disaster. So that's one of the occasions of, I don't care anymore. I just want this to be over. And then you start questioning, what are you doing to yourself?
Yeah.
In fairness, though, like sometimes I'm playing a game for fun and I end up feeling like that at the end of it. So
sometimes I just do anything. I make a sandwich and I'm like, what are you doing?
No, like it's really interesting because I just know, like, sometimes I would love to share my experience of a game that I'm really, really enjoying. But then at the same time, I'm kind of like, I'm so invested in the game that, I don't want the hassle of recording it at the same time. So
I'd say what helps is to have everything already set up, lights, cameras, all that sort of stuff. So you just push record. So it makes it nice and quick and easy. Decrease the barrier to entry as much as possible. So everything's already there. It's like push recording, and you're good to go.
Yeah, I wish I had that space, but I think the girlfriend might have something to say if the living room has just lights aiming at the TV all the time.
That's why I can't do shared accommodation anymore. I had shared accommodation in 2018 in Ireland, but you're sharing with 3 people. You can't take over the one sitting room.
I'd love that. I'd love to be like the roommate that comes in. Who's this dickhead? And you're just there like, hello, lads. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Platinum Journey. And you're just there like with the spray can and like with no windows open, not just the most inconsiderate arsehole.
All the blinds are closed so that the lighting is consistent, even though it's 3 o'clock in the day.
Yeah, it's 3 o'clock in the day, and you're like, it's drunken gaming, everyone, into your teams. It's like, well, there's no one else in the room. Hello, landlord.
So in 2018, I had to, every time I wanted to record stuff, I had to walk back up to my parents' house and then sit down in the sitting room, record for a couple of hours, and then go back down at the end. I got 3 episodes done that year. I went, I can never do shared accommodation. That's out for me.
Yeah, no,
that's why I'm in a kitchen. And it's
you should build a studio somewhere in the woods. That only only the Irish contingent of the platinum community is aware of. You need a little platinum key to get in. Or there's just a hole in the side of it because it was built so early.
No, for me it's my kids. I can't be like screaming about games when they're asleep. So I have to be like as far away from them like geographically as possible in the house.
God, it's tough, isn't it? Life is tough, lads. That's what we've learned.
How many kids do you have, Dan?
Just 2, but they're both like 4 and 6, so they're small. Like
do you mind asking me what age you are? Because it seems like you had them quite young.
Yeah, I'm 31, so
you're like 24.
Yeah, 20. Yeah, exactly. So I was pretty young, but myself, this is getting very personal. Myself and my wife have been together since we were like 17. So
okay, so
it's worked out.
it's still going strong.
Still going strong. For the record.
But no, it's watching. It is still going.
Just watching.
Life definitely does, like life complicates it, and living situations, and even just like like even if you've got a job or if you've got like other responsibilities, it can be very hard to kind of to squeeze these things in sometimes,
especially like anything creative. Like I'm sure you understand when you have that urge and you have a vision in your head of what you want it to be, what you need to do to get it, but it's just that barrier of, damn, I don't have the space in order to fully capture that idea. And then you want to wait until you can best capture that idea, as opposed to doing it in like a half-baked sort of acceptable way, which is the path we normally go down. No, but like it is frustrating, because like I'd say, one day we'll have a Platchums studio with the 2 armchairs and the neon sign of our channel art, and a fridge of beer. That's in the contract that we signed to each other. So there's no legal standing whatsoever in that contract. It's essentially notes we pass to each other.
For us, it's very much just a case of like I think we were on the phone because myself and Nathan were the only, like, we have a lot of mutual friends, but we would be the only 2 friends who talked about games. So then it was like we were calling each other and being like,
trophy hunting and
specifically, and this and trophy hunting specifically. So then it was just like, we should just record this, because like we had a good time chatting about it, and that was pretty much it. So it's a pure passion project. It's not anything greater.
Yeah, the basis of this was like, let's just record our phone calls and just throw it on the internet and just see how it goes.
And 1,000 people actively watch.
Yeah,
we're surprised every day. No, I think we have like a lot of the people that would watch us. A lot of our subscribers would be subscribed to you as well, and they would, there's a very shared community. there's a very shared community, within the trophy scene, but they're really, really positive. And I've made like loads of friends and
they're
loads of
super
people
signed on the
that
Discord,
I've added on my list and stuff, my friends list, and just chat to all the time. Like they're such a great community. And I'm sure, like, I don't want to speak for you, but like we just get kind of nothing but positivity from everyone. It's just a really positive community. So I know your community seems to be the same.
Yeah. As we've got like a Patreon Discord, and I just called it Wonderful People. And then I thought, is that too cheesy? And then I just kept it that way. It's like, they are kind of wonderful.
It's like,
although,
I can't be arsed to change it.
Yeah. And it was like, well, the Adam McDermott Discord, it's like, that's too formal. Oh, and then also we don't have moderators.
We don't have mods. It's just me and Dan. I don't want the selection process. Do they need to line up? Do I like send me headshots? Like, I don't know how it works.
Also, I like the idea of there not being a hierarchy. It's like everyone's word is as important as everyone else's. And I also don't step in if people disagree. I'm like, let them bicker. Figure it out.
Let's see who wins. Fight. You're throwing in spears and pizza cutters. Just
we had a fella, Mike, say to us, this group is great. I've never seen people who disagree so often, but will constantly and always support each other on stuff that matters.
They'll bicker themselves out. They'll bicker it out.
Yeah, but then it's like, hey, I'm actually feeling a bit depressed because my dog dies. Like, oh no, that's actually important. Oh, I'm wishing you the best and sending hugs.
I'm sorry,
you're wrong about The Last of Us Part 2. That's the real issue.
The Last of Us Part 2 is particularly contentious.
Yeah. Like, my opinion on that, in short, was it was good. I did say succinct and short, so look, we don't want to keep any more of your time.
I can see the timer ticking down from 6 minutes.
It's ticking down. I think 2 cutouts based on budget constraints is a bit piss poor. It's just a bit piss poor. So we covered, I don't even really know if we talked about it. It was just nice to chat to you, man. It was nice to finally get a bit of dialogue going, with the McDermott Platt extraordinaire.
Also, I was definitely a little worried you'd say, hey, what got you started on YouTube and what was yours? Like, oh no, if I have to answer that, I was going to steer you out of it immediately.
Did we ask any annoying questions? Give us feedback on our presentation, because you did say that presenting was not your forte. So a bit of sympathy for our horrible hosting abilities.
Oh, you're grand, as in it, you're the anti-hosts, which is why I like you.
You're like the black hole of hosts. You just absorb and consume everything around you. But you give off a wonderful light at the end on the event horizon.
Yeah, as in when you kind of got like topics. Even when I was doing the in-person podcast with Lucy, Lewis, and Joel, Duty XP, Platinum Bro, and Guy Ferruski.
We were in the garden, guys.
And then they were there. They're like, oh, let's talk about what we've been playing. And I was like, no, let's not. God, I don't want to listen to 4 people talk about what they've been playing for the next 20 minutes.
And I'm one of them.
So midway through the podcast, I ran out of beer. So I went to the shop and they allowed us to talk about what they've been playing while I was gone. And when I came back, I was like, we're not talking about that. We're just hanging out.
Masterstroke. You see, when I watched it, I think I was like folding clothes or something. And then all I heard was Platchums. And I was like, what the fuck? And it felt like you're going to crawl out of the screen and like attack me. I'm like, this could go literally any way, and then it was nice. It was nice that you didn't want to murder us anyway. That was a pleasant surprise. But you caught me off guard. I was just like, oh my God, I'm in the Platchums. What the hell? I've never been like called out. It was like a fighting video. I'll meet you in the back alley there. Thought you were going to start something. But look, all the best with the YouTube channel. I'm sure our paths will cross again at some point. Be maybe in person over a pint. Because suffering from COVID, I'm just like, God, I would really love a Guinness or a Smithwick's. I dabble in the old Smithwick's myself.
Yeah, that would work, especially if you've got an old local bar that they wouldn't mind us setting up in the corner.
Or even, I know just the place. It's just like a nightclub.
Preferably, it would be sort of cut off from the main bar, so that we don't have to look at people look at us.
No, Adam, I'm going to set it up in the middle of the fucking dance floor.
And
someone with the reflector as well going around
Yeah.
just to get the dynamic light, and we're going to have everything on dollies, every camera on a dolly, just in a
And we're going to tell
triangle.
people to shush while we're talking.
Guys, we're busy. So, what have you been playing?
I could just imagine like an old bartender just shaking his head at us, talking about trophies. Yeah,
You know,
maybe
the cloth in the pint glass. You know, the ring.
So
You'd be right
strictly
there.
no PlayStation conversation.
Don't just see the sign, no twats. Just, well, look, we'll leave it there. And hope everyone enjoyed watching. Be sure to check out Adam McDermott on YouTube. We're going to you can throw all our subs in your pile there because they're great people. We have a fine contingent of subs, so check them out. Thanks a million for watching, and sure, good luck to you.
Platchums!